So a few weeks back, I was talking about the next car that was up and coming, and I don't like to just talk about what I think or what I'm going to do. I do like to act on my words, and in this video, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna prove to you guys exactly what I was talking about not even a month ago. So grab your beer, grab your chips, grab whatever might make you feel comfortable, have a seat, and stay tuned for this episode of The Infamous Project. As you can see, I'm looking a little cleaner today, and unfortunately that means you guys aren't going to be seeing any projects or any DIY. This is strictly going to be an information-based video. There is going to be more dirty hand content coming real soon. I can promise you guys that, but I just wanted to make sure that I got something out to you guys. And I did talk about it in my closeout for 2021, stepping down to one video a week. The reality is, I don't know if I really want to do that. I'll probably do at least one and sometimes two, plus the podcasts that me and Gary from Casual Customs are going to be starting up here real soon. So be sure to tune into that. We'll get all the info posted and shared on social media so you guys can follow along with that. So today, I'm going to be talking about what's up on the screen back there. Last Sunday, I kind of threw a question out via social media about what the next video topic should be, and there was a lot of really good ideas in there. None that I could do right away and that quick off the hop, but what's on the screen back here is actually a little bit of a photo album, and I'm sure I'm gonna post these pictures into this video so you guys can see them firsthand, because, well, I don't have any video coverage of it. In fact, I might from Foxtoberfest, but I didn't even know that the car was for sale. I didn't even know that I might end up buying it. And unfortunately, I never actually got to see the car in person. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of story, a little bit of background, because quite a few of you actually asked. They're like, what's going on with this Reef Blue GT that you just bought? So all that I'm really gonna be able to tell you guys about it are based off the pictures that you're gonna see in this video. So it was right around Christmas time, a gentleman reached out to me on Facebook through the Infamous Project Facebook page, and he said, listen, I got this 1993 Reef on titanium, opal gray inside, and I want to sell it. I have it listed up on Auto Trader. I don't want any of the nonsense on Marketplace, Keyboard Heroes, Keyboard Appraisers, all of that stuff. He's like, if you're interested in the car, let me know. So long story short, man, he only had like 3 pictures of the car, and I remember seeing his car at Foxtoberfest, and it looked great. I could probably go through my footage and see the car on my GoPro, but all the pictures up here are actually images that my friend Lewis took once he took delivery of the car, and I'm gonna get into that in a minute. So going back, the seller only had a number of pictures on his Auto Trader ad, and his public information. He was asking $6,900. The Carfax was clean. I believe there's around 140,000-ish miles on the car, mostly original paint. The passenger side fender had been sprayed. The VIN tag was missing. Wasn't on the Carfax, surprise, surprise. But the rest of the car, like just in those images, and being an enthusiast that went to Foxtoberfest, I had really good security or an overall sense of, I guess, intuition, positive intuition that this car would be what it seems to be. And for $6,900, man, it's a steal. In fact, I didn't even realize that the car was auto until after I had already sent the guy a deposit, because I was like, man, 93 GT, last year of the Fox, Reef Blue, that rare, desirable color that so many people love. How could you go wrong on that? Of course, I asked him, was there any rust on the car? Because him coming from Virginia, they're liable to see some adverse winters, road conditions, salt, all that good stuff. And the only little bit of rust that appeared to be present was underneath the spoiler. And I don't have any GTs in here, and I don't want to go outside to the parts car because it is actually really cold here. So anyways, minimal rust, strut tower solid, door posts were solid. I made him send me a couple pictures of those. But other than that, I was pretty much buying the car in the dark. So we made the deal, I wired him money, and right as I was gonna set up transport, I sent a picture to my friend Lewis. So if you guys don't know who Lewis is, really good friend of mine. He's actually how I ended up with the Stalker Vert, because he is who I met off the corral way back in the early 2000s, and I bought this car off him originally. So there's stories with Lewis involved all throughout my videos, all throughout my cars, and he actually bought the 88 blue on blue Georgia Coupe that I had earlier this year. So I sent him a picture and he's like, I want that car. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, bro, I always wanted a teal 93 Cobra. That'll be the closest thing. I can put my Cobra rear bumper on it and this and that. And I was just like, man, don't get too excited. He started squirreling, and he will admit that he was totally squirreling. He was in the hamster wheel, just caught with idea after idea of what he could do to this car. And we've all been there. We all get excited about certain cars. So I said, man, if you get this car, you can't go changing everything. You can't go and just start swapping in black interiors and putting on a Cobra rear bumper, or trying to make a Cobra clone. I'm like, it's the last year of the Fox. It's pretty much an all original car. And in fact, I didn't even realize that this car was so really original. It came with all the owner's manuals and information package. The sunroof bag was still in the hatch. Like, this was a really solid car. And I was just going off of what I thought the car was going to be when it showed up to his place. So I was like, man, you can get excited about it if you want it, but keep it as it is. And I just had this video talking about GTs being the next best thing. And what better than a 93 Reef, 1 year only color GT? And man, the silver bottom, it just looks badass. So needless to say, he said, ship me the car. If I don't take the car, I'll pay to have the car resent to you in Texas from my place. So I'm like, whatever. The shipping to Florida was actually cheaper. Car got picked up and got sent to him. So I don't know what happened in his hamster wheel. And I was trying to talk some sense into him, because he's actually got two coupes now. He's got the Georgia blue coupe, and then he has a white. And you guys would have seen these videos. If you haven't, you can check it out. He's got a 1990 white notch with the black moldings, just like this one that I put the Detch kit on it. Super, super clean car, 48, 50-ish thousand miles or so. And I said, man, you got your white coupe. It's really nice. Like, sell the blue coupe off. Let somebody else enjoy it. It's a really good driver. He's put tons of work into it. But I'm like, but then you get a coupe, you get a GT, get the best of both worlds, and go from there. So of course, everything comes down to money. So we talked about how much would I sell him this car for. I gave him a price. In fact, I gave him a range. I said, listen, man, I haven't seen the car in person. You are going to be my eyes, so that when the car arrives, you can tell me everything that's wrong with it, everything that's good with it, and then we can come up with a price that everyone's happy. And then I told him how much I thought the car was really worth. Like, based on all of the information I had, if it shows up and it checked out the way that I envisioned it, maybe it's a good time to start rolling some of the pictures through so you guys can see some of the images of this thing. I said, you know, this car in reality is probably a $12,000 to $15,000 car. So I gave him a price, something between what I paid. I'm not going to tell you guys what I paid, just that the ask was $6,900. You know, I was into pretty much $1,000 in shipping. So even if I paid full ask, maybe I even gave him more because I didn't want somebody getting the car. Maybe I paid less, but that's for your imagination. So let's just say I paid full ask, $1,000. I'm in the car for just under $8,000. So if I was a nice guy and I sold the car to Lewis for 10, and then Lewis didn't like the car, I'm sure he could probably sell it for 12. or more. You never know, and I'm not going to tell you guys how much the car sold for because, well, there you go. I just spoiled the story, but if you're following me on Instagram, you would have known it anyways. Even though I was willing to give Lewis this really good price on the car, where we all win. I make some money, he can enjoy the car, he can make some money. He comes at me and he says he found this individual on Facebook that's looking for a Foxbody, and everybody's looking, and I thought nothing of it. He was like, oh man, I'll reach out to them and I'll give them a crazy price, and you know, how much would you give me if I just brokered a quick deal? So I told him a dollar amount, and I said, you know what, Lewis, if you get this, anything over that you can keep. And you know, call it a little bit of motivation, whatever it is. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I didn't think in a million years this random lead in Florida was going to come back and actually legitimately be interested in the car. I knew the car was a nice car, but we're talking about social media and a random person on Facebook just wanting a Foxbody. How many of those people are there? There's thousands of them right now. But this one random person that was looking for a Fox messaged back, was very excited for the car. Needless to say, Lewis himself barely had enough time to even wash or get the car ready. In fact, the car's engine bay and interior was detailed out really, really well already because the guy had it at Foxtoberfest, so clearly he had it all cleaned up and ready for the show. So that's it. The car is gone. And think there's a couple takeaways from this video, and I don't know if you guys are still watching at this point or if this was ultimately interesting. It's really just another one of those stories. But if you are watching this long, I think two really important takeaways. Number one, there's still a lot of really good deals to be had on Foxbodies out there. I am fortunate enough because I have a little bit of a presence online, so some people reach out to me and just don't want to be bothered with the hassle. And he made that clear. He said, you know, I'm not posting this on Facebook. So that was the advantage. So keep that in mind, guys. If you guys are looking and you are one of those people that posts up, hey, I'm looking for a Fox, you might be able to find what you're looking for. Try the old school listing marketplaces. In other words, your auto traders. Check out Craigslist because that's kind of the older school posting sites. If you're up in Canada, there's Kijiji up there. I feel like that is more active alongside Marketplace in Canada versus the US, where I feel like everything is just gone to Marketplace and really no Craigslist. Oh. Sorry guys, I had to wet my whistle a little bit there. When you're talking so much, and you know, I try and freestyle it. I try and avoid as many cuts and editing as much as possible when I do some of these videos, just because I hate all the rehearsing. But I kid you not, I found Infamous Brewery, and I just got to touch on this because you guys might either laugh or be curious about this beer. I found it randomly. I was visiting Texas, when was it? 2012, 2013, it was Halloween. There was a Halloween costume contest thing at some little dive bar or hole in the wall, as you will. And Infamous Brewery was actually not catering, but I guess catering the beer to the event. And that's how I found them. So completely random. They're just outside of Austin, well, the city. They're still within Austin limits. They're out in hill country. The beer is actually phenomenal. Nice little joint out there. So I love supporting a local brewery, and it's even better that they're named Infamous Brewery just because sort of all goes together. Now back to our takeaway number 2. And that's going back to the video that I did not even a month ago, talking about GTs and how they're coming up and the demand's going to be there. Demand for any clean Fox is really there, but that the GTs are kind of the next thing now that people are going to be wanting to try and find. And the individual who purchased this car was 100% looking for a GT. Whether he wanted auto or not, I don't even know. He didn't seem to care. And I think that that's another important point, is that all of these cars that are auto and the T5 swaps really doesn't matter. We used to see the prices, you know, an automatic convertible now would still be a little bit lower in price, I find, but anything else, I don't think people really care as much. You know, the Cali Coupe here, I don't care that this thing is auto. You just put that thing in drive, hit traffic, it doesn't matter. And I think more and more people are feeling that way. I could be wrong, you guys can throw it in your comments. But again, GTs, they're coming up, guys, 100%. If you guys know of any clean GTs or any clean LXs, as you've probably figured out, I like to buy and sell cars here and there. So if you guys have any good deals, or you're thinking about getting rid of your Fox, you want a hassle-free sale, you know, reach out to me. I might say yes, I might say no, I might say later, or I might have somebody looking, because so many people reach out to me and they say, looking for a notch, I'm looking for a vert, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, and I don't always have them. So for anybody who might be new to the channel and watching and seeing that I got all these Foxes and asking me if I have stuff, it comes and goes. And a lot of times I almost have stuff sold before I even buy it. And, you know, I don't try and be greedy about it. I like to try and make sure that whoever I'm buying from is ultimately happy. And most importantly, whoever's going to end up with the car is happy. So that everybody wins in the end and everybody is happy. And I think that's exactly what happened here. And the only person that I feel that missed out in this whole equation, in this long-winded story, is Lewis. I think Lewis should have attempted to enjoy this car a little bit, because he was going to get a good deal. He wouldn't have lost. I wasn't losing. You know, maybe it's better that the owner who ended up buying it in the end has the car, but I think Lewis might kick himself for letting this one go so soon, because unless he's going to pry open his wallet and fork out that cash for that teal Cobra that he's always dreamed of, those things are getting harder and harder to find. And I know Lewis, he doesn't want one with a sunroof. He's not going to want one with a gray interior. It would have to have black. And at this point, who is going to change the interior color of a real 93 Cobra? That's going back to the video that I did last week about changing interior colors. I'm sorry, if I had a 93 Cobra and it was red on red, not that that was an option, but I'm just putting it out there. If it was red on red, I don't care how clean of a black interior I would have, I would not be touching the interior of that car. And I think it's going to get that way for a lot of other Foxes here in the near future. People are just going to want that originality in the way that they came, unless they're going full custom. So that's my 2 cents. That's my story for today. I promise you guys there's a lot more content coming. I have something really, really cool coming this weekend. Fingers crossed. It's everything that I'm hoping that it will be, sort of like this Reef car was. So be sure to stay tuned and see what I got coming next.